Good evening, everybody. I'm just having my coffee here, and we're going to talk about doing a painting. I understand that you have agreed to do a piece of art to celebrate my darling daughter's 50th birthday coming up. And she asked me to do a little bit of a demo for you so that you have a clue about what to do when you do a painting, because many of you haven't actually painted before. So what I have here is the block, the same as the one she gave you. I'm not going to paint on this evening because I want to do my painting for her on this, and she doesn't know what I'm going to paint yet. So I have a little bit bigger piece because I happen to have this, and I've done a bit of a drawing on it. You can sketch with pencil on your block what you think you might like to paint. It could be a thing like a piece of fruit or a flower, a musical instrument, a tree, whatever you think might represent her. You could do a scene, a small scene, so it would be perhaps a little bit more detailed than just one item. So a view of your house, a chair in front of a fireplace, whatever you can think of that you might like to do. A tree in winter, a bit of a garden, or you don't have to do anything. You can just do something modern art sort of thing. Lines, spaces, shapes, anything at all. Some wiggly lines and then fill in between with polka dots, whatever suits you. So that's the first thing. And if you're going to do that, then lightly sketch with a pencil on your canvas. I'm going to lower the screen so you can see what I'm doing now. So I'm going to disappear. All right, is that good? So I'm going to draw on this, and I happen to receive a photo of a moon shining on water. And the water happened to be Lake Superior, which is where I grew up. And it really struck me because not only is the moon here, but also Saturn and Jupiter, which is in the sky right now as we speak. So if you've got a clear sky, and this is the 22nd of December, if you get this tonight, then you can go and look for Saturn and Jupiter in the sky. And there's a little island and some trees. So I'm going to show you how to do some of these different things. Then you need to gather your supplies. So you need your paint, which was in the bag, and you need your brushes also in the bag. And this is a palette knife, and it's, if you were to do a tree, for instance, you could put, like a birch tree, you could put some white paint and dark paint in blotches along the edge of this knife and then drag it along the trunk from top to bottom, and you'd get a nice striped effect. But you've got a broad brush, a middle-sized brush, and a fine brush for fine detail. And then you have, at least I have 5 different paint tubes. You need something to put your paint on. I have some paper here that is waxed. It's not wax paper, it's special paper for mixing paint on. You can just use a plate from your kitchen set. Just be sure that when you're all done, you wash it very well in hot soapy water. Anyway, this is all acrylic paint, and acrylic paint is the best one for you, first of all, because it's washable. So if you put these on your plate and you use those for mixing different colors, which I'll talk about in a minute, when you're all done, that plate will wash up. And your brushes, you will want to keep moist. So I have 2 glasses that are very messy looking because I've used them for painting before. And they're half full of water, and that's it. And then I have a pencil, and the pencil would be for drawing lightly on the canvas. So let's talk about these colors. So there's white. So I can put some of this white out on my paper. So I'll put some there and cover it up again. Then you have a yellow ochre, and the yellow ochre will be a nice warm color. And I'm going to put some here. And my pencil just rolled in. I should show you how I can make this look stripy. Now that I've got some paint. That was a silly thing to do. Just a minute. Now, isn't that wonderful that it washes out? So that color is all gone. Then I've got 2 blues. There's cobalt blue, which will be very nice for the sky if I wanted to do a sky. And I've got ultramarine, which will be perfect for water. Ultramarine meaning water. And then I have raw umber, which is a very dark color. And so if I have anything that has to be really dark, I've got this. Now, the good thing about these paints is that we can mix and match. So if I use some of, oh, where did you go? You disappeared.
All good, Mom. You're looking great.
What?
You're looking great.
All right.
Keep going.
Keep going. Okay. Oh, this is better. I can see more. All right. So if we want, say, to make a pale yellow, I can take some of this yellow ochre. And then I can get a bit of white and mix it in. And it makes it a much lighter color, as you can see. All right, so now that I've got that, if I wanted to make a green, I can use this yellow ochre and mix it with some of the blue. And suddenly I have a dullish green. Let's get my pencil cleaned off here. And remember, I've got my water here and I'm washing my brush every time. If I wanted a different green, I'd use the ultramarine, and you can see the difference between these two. If I need more depth to the color, I just add more paint till I get what I want. So these are good for trees, perhaps at different times of the year. This one would be a springy green. This one would be a midsummer green. And then if I want things quite dark, now I'm getting a brown, a very dark brown. If I want black, I'll add some of that ultramarine to it. So you get a variety. And so these colors are perfect for pretty much all your needs. The only thing you don't have is a red. So if you want to make pink, you're going to have to go out and get yourself a tube of red acrylic paint, but Michael sells it, and no doubt you probably have some paint at home anyway. So anyway, there's your supplies. And now you're going to start to paint your picture. So I'm going to start by using my bigger brush, and I'm going to I think I'll start out painting trees. I'm just going to do some detail for you. I don't want to spend too much time doing painting, but I'll show you sort of the basics of an island here. Where are we here? There. All right, so we've got an island. So just roughly rough it in a bit. Then we might like to do some green. And so I'll add some to this one. And we'll do some of the green of the pine tree. Now you can start at the bottom, just little lines going across. You want to adapt your color, so you mix some of this dark in.
Hey, Mom, can you angle up your camera just a little bit? Oh, that's perfect.
Like that. Let's see. There. All right. All right, now there's a big tree here. And smaller one. Okay, if you want to show some shading, you might add quite a bit of this brown and do just a touch along the side. We'll get our the moon is coming this way, so it's going to be darker on this side. So that gives a bit of shading to your tree. Anyway, there's a little island. And then we're going to do, let's do the water next. So we're going to do ultramarine. but it has to be dark because it's a middle of the night with the moon shining. And so I think I need to get some more of this blue. Might have to use my whole tube of blue. And I need my bigger brush. Now I've got the moon glistening on the water here. So this will need another coat, and I'm not going to do that tonight. Because I'm going to want this to dry. I always like to paint the edge of a canvas, just in case it doesn't get a frame on it. Now, I wouldn't be rushing quite so fast if we weren't on having some time constraints here, but anyway, that's essentially what you do. This is probably a bit too deep here, but anyway, then now we're going to use this lighter blue, but again, we have to darken it. Because it's the middle of the night. And I'll have to use my finer brush here around my trees, my forest. Anyway, so we're moving along here. And I'm going to have to make sure that my Saturn and Jupiter are kept clear here, because they're the important ones tonight. Oh, rats. Always make sure you have some paper towel handy. Okay, so you get the idea of what to do. Be sure to clean your brush well in between colors. Keep your area clean. You can see I've got a smudge of white here, so I'm going to have to clean that up and before I go on. And once you've got an undercoat on, then you're going to have to allow it to dry and come back to it maybe in an hour, half an hour anyway, depending on how thick you put your paint. You don't want to allow your water in your glass to get too muddy. So it would be time for me to get a fresh glasses of water. And I think that gives you an idea of how to go about the process. If you do something that's basic, then I think you will find it's easy to do. It's like painting inside the lines, and you've been doing that since you were little kids. So you won't have any trouble with that. If you try to get fancy, then it might be more of a challenge, but on the other hand, you might really enjoy that. So take a look at an idea and keep it fairly simple, especially with the size of the block, and just have fun with it. I'm going to get Heather to send you these papers. Okay.
Thanks, Mom. That was awesome.
Was it?
That was perfect.
Okay.
Love you. Say goodbye.
Bye.